I'm against card check. Make a perfectly flat statement.
Okay.
Gentlemen, often that all of us join with former Senator McGovern in unison on an issue. While we certainly have, some of us certainly have political differences with him, we are pleased and really honored and glad that Senator McGovern has the courage of his convictions to speak out on this issue. And I think we owe it to Senator McGovern to give him his recognition and a huge round of applause for his strong statement. Former state representative and current Congressman Joe Pitts is all too familiar with the challenges facing Pennsylvanians' workforce and the businesses that provide jobs in our Commonwealth. Like us, he is concerned about the intrusive nature of card check and the threat it poses to workers and employers. It's a real pleasure to introduce a former colleague and a good friend to all of us, Congressman Joe Pitts. Joe?
Thank you, Kurt. Thank you, Senator Fulmer and Representative Schroeder, all the legislators who are here for sponsoring this rally. It's a pleasure to be back in Harrisburg before I run to Washington today. Organized labor turned out big in the last election. They mobilized their voters, and they see card check as payback for getting Barack Obama into the White House and the Democrats into Congress. As Vice President said, it's time to dance. The leaders of organized labor have long sought to make union organization easier, but their sense of urgency has grown since union membership as a percent of the workforce has declined by roughly half in the last 30 years. And their thinking is, with Democrats controlling both the White House and the Congress, the political environment in Washington will be in their favor. But the secret ballot is a fundamental right of democracy. It's one of our treasured rights, the right to a secret ballot election. And the notion that taking away the protection of the secret ballot somehow makes the process fair is pure fantasy. Card check takes away the right to a fair and secret election. If individuals want to join a union, they're certainly entitled to that right, and they can show their support by their votes. But if workers do not want to pay union dues to a political agenda they disagree with, they should also have the same right to cast their votes, free of intimidation or coercion. Why would labor unions want to get rid of the secret ballot if they do not intend to use card check to intimidate employees? American workers are against mandating union dues. If unions want to increase their numbers, they ought to focus on doing a better job representing their members, not trying to legalize intimidation and coercion. This is not the only thing that would be compromised by card check legislation. According to a study by Dr. Ann Lane Farrar, an economist, if card check was passed and union membership increased by 1.5 million workers in the first year, as its proponents claim, she says 600,000 American jobs would be lost as a result. At a time when unemployment continues to rise, organized labor and Democrats in Congress continue to push legislation that will not only open employees to coercion and intimidation, but cost over 500,000 jobs in an already hurting economy. Under card check, all businesses, large and small, would face union drives. And we need to improve our business climate. We need to focus our efforts on ways to turn our economy around. I've spoken with employers from all over the 16th Congressional District of Pennsylvania, and many of them have great relationships with their employees, and they strive to provide fair and just compensation and benefits. And they tell me how harmful card check would be to their businesses. Even if they have good relations with their employees, if card check is passed, union organizers can come into the workplace and intimidate employees into forming a union and extract union dues from employees' paychecks. But there is an alternative. We have sponsored H.R. 1176, the Secret Ballot Protection Act. This bill would protect the rights of workers to have secret ballot elections when determining whether to form a union. And so there's an alternative that we can offer and support. Card check is an assault on the principles of our nation and would be a job killer during a time when we can't afford to lose jobs. It's unfair to businesses. It's unfair to workers. This is a voting rights privacy issue. 105 million workers would be disenfranchised. Card check would lead to government-run workplaces. Workers' free choice would be systematically blocked. It's a job killer, particularly bad in a recession. The pressure now being put on Congress by workers and businesses all over the country may have dealt a decisive blow to this terrible piece of legislation. I find it interesting that Larry Summers, the chief economic advisor for the president, who did a study a couple of years ago, concluded that areas with higher rates of unionization have higher rates of unemployment. Workers in non-union states earn an average of $1,600 more than workers in heavily union states. And we all know that more unions with more unionized workers would increase liberal policy advocacy. So we need you to keep up the pressure. We need individuals and our business leaders to continue to put the pressure on members of Congress to vote against this anti-American bill. This is still a battle that we can win, but we need you to continue to work to do it. We need you to educate. We need you to speak up. We need to hold your officials accountable. Keep up the good work, and Godspeed in your efforts. Thank you.